Good morning and welcome to QML session 41. I'm Jeremy, and on our agenda today is a half-year update on our strategic initiatives, and we will be hearing from a number of members of our executive team, and we'll jump right into this today. I will remind you there will be time at the end for your questions and comments, so you can begin submitting those at any time during the presentation. And with that, we will jump right in with our CEO, Mike Morrow. Hi, Mike.
Hey there. Thanks, Jeremy. I'll start with the T in STRIDE stands for teamwork. And in order to have a winning team, you need a game plan. Everyone needs to know what the game plan is, and you have to keep score. So part of our game plan is our mission. Part of it is our strategic plan. Part of it is our annual initiatives. And today we're going to review the progress on our 2021 initiatives. We stay informed as a team through various reports like the snapshot and the KPI scorecard, and we fill in gaps that aren't necessarily in those reports by having things like our monthly town hall meetings. As I mentioned, we have a bunch of initiatives for 2021. That's a topic of this QML. You're going to see those initiatives in the next few minutes. Each of the initiatives are sponsored by members of the E-team. Next slide, please, Jeremy. So these are the initiatives that I'm personally sponsoring. You probably heard about most of these or many of these through one meeting or another. To summarize real quickly, the end-to-end is an initiative to create the best approach to talent acquisition in our industry. 0 to 60 is an initiative to minimize the attrition of new hires. B to P is to maximize our productivity. TTP is an initiative to get new hires up to speed and hitting all metrics faster than our competitors are capable of doing. And finally, I'm sponsoring an initiative to increase the opportunity for everyone to have a mentor. This simple slide does not give justice to the amount of hard work that many people have put into this and the tremendous progress we have made. That would require volumes of details to adequately really portray what has been accomplished. So right now we're a bit under halfway through the year. And as you can see, we're a little bit over halfway to achieving these particular initiative goals. Thank you. And I'm going to turn it over to Doug.
Doug, can you turn your camera on so I can share you? There we go. Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. So from an operational perspective, we have 19 individual items. They're not all listed out here on this slide. We've actually put the 19 items into 4 broad categories. Overall, I would say as with many efforts in initiatives, we are doing very well in some. We're on track in others, and others we need to improve. I'll start with where I think we need to improve. 2 particular items we wanted to achieve this year were we had 2 clients, named clients, where we wanted to make sure that we were number 1, number 2 in our KPIs with them, or essentially in the top 10 of KPIs with another client. And I would say in those cases we are behind, although we do have I would call them remediation plans or plans in place where we've redirected our efforts, refocused our efforts, and I expect to see some improvement here as we go through the second half of the year on those. The other item in terms of where we have some opportunity to improve and progress quicker is the implementation of our voice system, voice technology system in all of our marketing services warehouses. We had started that implementation, but as we did and we dug into it, we realized that we had actually some opportunities for leaning out the processes before we employed that technology. So in that case, we have recalibrated and we're looking to improve the processes first and then implement the technology, and that's brought us a little bit behind plan. In terms of things we're on track for, we've made good progress with the Qualfon insurance agency. That agency is named Assured Choice. We have an opportunity this year. We've invested for growth quicker, meaning we're spending more money than we planned. But by doing that, we believe that we can pull some revenue and an opportunity into actually 2021, where previously we had it planned for 2022. And then we are on track with our workforce management system consolidation. Overall, what we're doing well, I think our Work Anywhere efforts and initiative is ahead of schedule. We closed off phase 2 about 2 weeks early. And then also with our the implementation of our Mentor by Choice program using our managing directors, we're well ahead of schedule with that initiative. So overall, as you can see, we're a little ahead of schedule. We have some areas that we're doing really well in, some areas that we can improve, but overall right now we're a little ahead of schedule. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mike Jossi for the Person Office.
Thank you, Doug, and thank you, Jeremy. So if you want to go to the next slide for me, Jeremy, and I'll cover the Person Office. So overall, kind of like Doug was talking about, ahead of progress on most initiatives. I'll talk about one where I feel like we're a little behind, but in terms of the global Person Office operations, which is really Elizabeth's world, we're on track. We really judge the value of our organization by our Person Office surveys. Thank you to everyone for completing those every quarter and taking the 60 seconds to give us feedback. We've now reached our highest score, which is a 3.2 out of 4. Really working to get those scores above a 3.3 in both Elizabeth and Brandon's world from a Person Office operations. In terms of talent acquisition, really focusing on improving our TA marketing operations, which I think the team in the Philippines has done a great job with our brand. And with our sourcing spend, really focusing on new clients, really around the world in Guyana, Mexico City, the Amazon work in the Philippines, Flex Shopper and Front Door, and really working to improve our hiring capacity in both Guyana and in Mexico City. In terms of global compensation, really looking at bringing everybody onto one performance management system and methodology. Also looking at some technology to improve our merit process for 2022. The one area where I feel like we're a little bit behind is we're consolidating our global payroll operations and timekeeping. We're launching for both the Philippines and Mexico in 2021 for a 2022 launch. We're a little bit behind on that project, actually officially kicking it off next week. And then we're all on track in terms of what Mike had said about mentoring, and all of us have 2 people that we're mentoring on my team and the Person Operations. And with that, I will hand it back to you, Jeremy.
All right, and Dave Drayton is up next. Dave, good morning, sir.
Great. Good morning, everybody. And I don't see my slide yet, so thank you, Jeremy. There you go. Fantastic. One is I love talking about these, and because they mean jobs for everybody, right? And I want to talk about the first category of revenue generation, because that's vital for our company. We really look at that in 2 places, basically. Really, how much are we growing our clients, and then the new blood that we bring into the company with new clients, right? Which is so important because we can take them, implement them, and then start growing them in the future. So we look at these in 4 categories: in the call center first, and the marketing services, and I'll present those to you. So in our call center new client growth, and these numbers change so frequently. The amazing thing about it is we had a great day yesterday and brought in about $4.6 million of new in-year billing for this year. So these numbers have already increased. But I'll go through the numbers we have in front of us. Call center new client growth, our goal is 13.5. We're sitting at 12.1. So right, just a little bit off goal there. And call center existing client growth, we're at 13.6 with a goal of 6.5, which is 186% growth. So we're just hitting it out of the park with existing client growth, and we'll certainly achieve the new client growth for the call center for this year. So that's really great news. On the marketing service side, when we look at existing clients, we're at 64% of the way there with 1.3, with a $2 million goal, and then existing client growth at 245, and we're at 1.3 right now. So very excited about that. I want to go to the solutions part of it, which is number 2, which is really our future, right? And we have a lot of different initiatives going on right now. We're readjusting and reinventing the SAM structure for future growth. Very excited about that. We're about 50% there. We're also refocusing the BD team on growth accounts, larger accounts within 9 verticals. And we're about 65-70% of the way there in terms of that structure being changed. And then on the marketing service side, we're restructuring both the SAM and BD teams for sales and solution folks, and we're about 70% there. So that's on the sales side. I want to go to the marketing side, which is really the promotion of our brand, right? Our credibility, our experiences to folks. And there's several initiatives here. There's 8 big ones. Our RFP next level, which is getting our RFPs to a whole different level. We had a meeting yesterday with a lot of team members. We're about 70% there. Presentations next level. We're just starting that project. We're having a video production department, which we're excited about because there's so many great things that happen in our company every day. We want to capture those on video. But we haven't started that yet. We're actually looking for somebody to hire. And then a lot of other things, trying to get more intelligent on the industry competition and our clients that are out there, website enhancement, social media playbook, marketing material refresh, and lots of other things. And then the last thing, which is near and dear to my heart, is mentorship, right? Is how do we continue to get members of my team to next levels in growth overall? So we have several different programs that we're all complete. We've all got them set and they're actually being executed. One's our weekly power hour, our SAM next level meetings. We have next level meetings with every part of our company. But the hardest one is the one-on-one mentorship, right? And so we've assigned buddy mentorships to every member of our team, and we're doing those on a monthly basis. So very excited about that, and very excited about where our company's heading. And so as you can see the numbers. So thank you very much, and I'll hand it back to you, Jeremy.
Thank you. And we will hear from Jim Gilman next. Jim, good morning. How are you?
Good. Good morning, Jeremy, and good evening, everybody. As far as the finance group, if I think about the overall achievement of 52% and look at raw numbers through and including June 25th, that's 176 days out of 365, 48.2%. We're ahead. But really the way I think about it is that we've got to get everything done by the end of August, as once September hits, we are full bore budget, all hands on deck, working on getting that wrapped up. So we've got some work to do to get these items knocked out, really in my mind, trying to get them done by the end of August. So really, finance, we're an internal service group. We're here to try and make everybody else's lives easier and allow the sales team to focus on selling and ops to focus on producing and not get hung up with internal items. So really our initiatives, whether it's the first one, harnessing the power of BPC to make the flash and forecast process more efficient, that one as an example. Whole goal here is to spend less time actually producing those flashes and forecasts, and more time actually analyzing them, helping where possible for operations to run more efficiently, just having more time to really create value in that process with review and analyzing, and less time putting it together. And it's really one of the most important ones, the way I view our initiatives, and have a new resource to focus on BPC, and we're really anxious to get moving with that. Get that really moving forward and completed. The next one, item 2, is really as it relates to the marketing services business, and getting a good structure in place there to support the operations team there when it comes to margins and profitability. And we've started a lot of conversations, and have been supporting that process, but really getting some resources identified that really own it and live it from a day-to-day basis. Shared services, been a lot moving there. Excited that we're real close to bringing in a global director of purchasing to really help the purchasing initiatives across the company, making it smoother and easier, and certainly making sure we've got all the right checks and balances in place, and someone who's really focused on that all day, every day. And there's a lot of opportunity for improvement and efficiency, cost savings, really in that part. Then internal customer service related, we've talked about and have been putting together some documents and starting to build out the SharePoint site to make it a lot easier to navigate accounting and finance. Who do you go to if you have a question about this or a question about that? Just putting policies and procedures, getting them, reviewing those policies and procedures, making sure that they're up to date. A lot of focus there. Then the last one is really the mentor initiative, incredibly important, and we've rolled out about 50% of that, with about 50% of the team having identified mentees, but work in process there. That's all I've got. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Jim. And we're have a slide here for Robert Knockwalter over our legal initiatives, and Mike Jossi is going to cover for Robert today. So we'll bring Mike back in here. Hi again, Mike.
Yep, thank you, Jeremy. And Rob really wanted me to cover 2 items. You know, overall on track from the legal department perspective. 2 items that he wanted me to talk about is, you know, they're working on creating a central repository for all client agreements. You know, this can get pretty complex if they're sitting on people's different PCs, maybe Rob's, maybe somebody else within his organization. So really working on a central database for all of those agreements moving forward, on track for that initiative. The other one is we moved, you know, 6,000 plus people at home around the world, is really creating and revising at-home agreements more from a labor perspective for all geographies, and we're on track with that initiative as well. Those are the 2 items that he wanted me to cover. Jeremy, back to you.
Great, thank you. All right, we'll next hear from Prashant. Prashant, good morning. How are you doing?
Yes, very good morning, everybody. Thank you. Run through a quick update on initiatives from a technology standpoint. Mike touched on this. We've embarked on a global timekeeping and payroll project. Got slightly delayed, but we're looking to kick off the project next week. Looking at go live for Mexico and Philippines January 1, Guyana and Costa Rica April 1. I think I have a typo there, right? So, you know, it's going to be very comprehensive, involving multiple geographies, multiple partners. Looking forward to working with all of you to get that off the ground. Along the same lines, we were looking at automating our travel and expense management. We have 4 different tools that we use between DD and Qualfon. Now we have launched a tool called Certify. Expense management is officially rolled out. Next, we're looking at moving in the purchase acquisition. So you'll see some communication related to that coming up. Second item around the IT infrastructure is between the legacy DD and legacy IMM, we had over 50 different applications, several hundred servers that were old, end of support, end of life, causing a big risk. So we've embarked on this project this year to actually migrate all these legacy apps. Team has done a phenomenal job in terms of getting to at least cataloging what we need to do, and we're looking at by Q3 wrapping up at least a big chunk of that project. On the Innovation Center earlier this year, during the summit, I presented, some of the high-level focus areas for our Innovation Center, which is the technology-led innovation. We have 2 updates on that. One is the voice AI platform. We have been using a tool called Observe that actually does voice analytics. We rolled this out for DT, seen some good progress, and then we recently rolled this out for front door as well. And as we continue to see good progress, we plan to actually leverage this for more voice clients. And with the help of Poets and great support from our ops team in Philippines, we have launched an agent performance portal. It's called IRIS, Integrated Reporting and Information System. It basically brings all of the KPIs, metrics, all into one place for agents and supervisors, and also integrates coaching into the same tool. So they don't have to go anywhere. It's a one-stop shop. They'll be able to see all their information, including the coaching sessions, in one place. So we've got some good feedback. We've rolled it out as a pilot for Instacart, and we're looking at getting this out to Amazon and DT as potential next candidates. And then on the work at home, good progress so far. We've been trying to streamline how we support our remote workforce. We've launched a support portal for our remote workforce to go to support.qualfon.com. We're continuing to improve how we support them with some additional diagnostic tools. You'll see some communications along those lines. And lastly, very important, along the mentorship program, we've identified mentees for all the directors and above, and we will continue to work on that in the coming weeks and months. That's from me, Jeremy. Thank you.
Thank you, Prashant. And up next, we get to hear from Marco. Marco, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, everyone. Here we are talking about 2 initiatives, very much interrelated between the 2, which is to implement the optimal transfer pricing across Qualfon. We have already a new team member, Mira Kohli from India, helping us on the analysis and the review of the transfer pricing of the actual numbers. And the other very much interrelated, the statutory financial projection of this with the information that we have of the transfer pricing. Right, these 2 go very much interrelated, very much supported and working together with the finance team. And the last one is the mentorship that we have one of our colleagues already doing a cross mentorship with another areas for further growth in his career. That's it, Jeremy.
Thank you so much, Marco. And we get to hear now from, I'm not even sure where you are, Roberto, but we get to hear from Roberto next.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, and my camera is on. I hope that you can see it.
We can see you and hear you just fine.
Excellent. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, everyone. Well, this is it's the last slide, but I think everyone is 100% engaged because the first initiative, as you can read, is ensure employee journey experience as a unique differentiator in our industry, and everyone here is responsible. Everyone is working on that, from hiring to onboarding, training, and of course, the experience of our employee. So we are making sure that every stage and every one of the programs that we have for our employees are accessible, are easy to learn. What are those opportunities, how I can benefit from them. And our Connect page is a landing page for everything. Everyone is going to learn everything in a very friendly way. We are starting, probably many of you have seen that in your Connect page, you have seen some improvements, and you're going to continue seeing probably every week. We're going to work in making that experience through this new way that we have, that many of us, we're working from home, right? And Work Anywhere initiative. So we're making sure that, and including the moments that matters, that it's or those special moments that we're going to measure, that just to have the feedback to learn if everyone is taking advantage of all the programs and make the journey at Qualfon as unique as should be. The others, the second initiative, the Qualfon University team, is making a lot of progress to have improved curricula according to the business, because we have been in that transformation of our business, including other line of business in that training, and have a self-paced curricula. There is going to be a certifications in the supervisors readiness, and of course the operations manager academy in certification, and the site director certification. That curriculums are very important for our training as a mission leaders. And lastly, the idea is the mentorship. And if we read our mission, many that mission can be possibly we have the mentor that we have as a role as a Qualfon mission leaders, and board mentor as a choice also, that we can choose that person that can help us to learn or can help us to improve any skills that we may need, or have that support or motivation. So those are the three initiatives. I want to thank everyone in the mission team, everyone who is really working hard. We are halfway, a little bit more in the mentorship, but we are working hard for the second part of the year to make this possible. Jeremy?
Thank you, Roberto. And with that, we have a few minutes for your questions and answers. And I'm going to check right now to see if we have any of those showing up in the queue. And I've got a primer question just to get our panelists ready. And I'm going to ask our panelists to turn their cameras on. Mike, if you don't mind, I'm going to start with you. And my question for you.
I do mind, but go ahead.
Yeah, my question for you is, what are you most excited about right now in terms of what we're doing at Qualfon?
December 31st, 2023.
And can you elaborate?
There is just so many things going on that are fantastic. It's like asking me who's your favorite child. I'm not going to tell you. They're all fantastic.
Good, great. All right, I'm going to ask the same question to Roberto, though. Roberto, what are you most excited about that's happening at Qualfon right now?
Really, Jeremy, when we learn from many of us that we are making that mission possible. Every day we get testimonies of persons that have finished their training, that finish opportunity, that they have the support because something happened in the family. And we're trying to make each person's life better. I think that energy that comes from the testimonies of the sites, that everyone is taking care of each other, that it's just an amazing opportunity to feel.
Great, thank you. And Doug, I'm going to put you on the spot with that same question. What are you most excited about that we have going on right now?
December 31st, 2023.
Yeah.
January, no. Jeremy, I think, as Mike said, there are so many good things going on, but I focus on right now, spending a lot of my time on the group launching the insurance agency. And there are challenges with any sort of startup and thing like that, but it's really exciting getting into that new line of business. As you see in our strategic plan that's been distributed recently, we have a lot of initiatives and goals around diversifying Qualfon and expanding into other areas in our integrated solutions and marketing services globally within the CES business. I think what excites me is just the sheer number of opportunities that are in front of us from a growth perspective.
Thank you very much. And with that, we are out of time. I want to thank our presenters, the members of the E-team. I want to thank each of you for joining us. And we're got a lot of exciting things happening at Qualfon. Thank you all so much for joining, and we'll see you next month for QML 42. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, everyone.